to the Connect Realty podcast. This is not clickbait. We're just here. We wanted to talk about the interest rates.
They're down.
Yeah, they're down. Well, interest rates have been down for the past 3 weeks, right? So yesterday, the Fed announced that they were going to be cutting the prime rate by 5 basis points. What does that mean for you guys? It means that we're in the right trending direction to see lower rates, right? The Fed rate doesn't necessarily mean mortgage rates are going to go down, but when the Fed rate is cut, more bonds are bought up, and that's what drops interest rates, right? So a lot of people don't know that it's not a direct correlation between the Fed rate and the mortgage rates. And we're on here to kind of explain that, talk about it a little bit. And, this is our podcast episode 13. So if you guys want to watch them back, watch them for the future. Remember to subscribe, hit that like button, comment.
Ask us some questions.
Or you want to come on the podcast, reach out too. We're happy to have some guests and, talk about, especially if you have a small business. We'd like to have you on here. I got to get better at recruiting some people in here. I actually talked to Steve from 3 Points. He said we'll come do it with us. And nice. He's like the podcast man, so it'd be cool to have him on here.
He has one? Well, yeah, he's got a really good one actually.
Yeah. Emo Brown podcast.
Emo Brown.
Yeah.
It rings a bell.
So what do you guys think? What do you think? What's your take on the whole interest rate thing?
1 sec, sorry.
I don't know. I just hopefully it's more people have a chance for affordability, but you just gotta look at all. What else can happen? Prices can kind of go up.
Yeah, that's a great point to bring up. Is when we're trying to combat inflation by raising the rate. That's what it was all about, right? So as they drop the rate, what happens to the home prices? Are they going to continue to go up? What's going to happen with that? The thing that we've been kind of monitoring and seeing, throughout this past week as inventory levels is they're really high. There's a lot of homes out there to see.
Which is a good thing.
Right? Yeah, it's a good thing. We're still not back to pre-pandemic levels, I guess you could say. But the last time we hit 5,000 homes for sale in the market was 2020.
Which was that a healthy year for real estate?
I would say that we were short on inventory in 2020, right?
That was COVID?
Yeah, no, that was right before COVID, right? So 2020.
That's when
2020 is COVID started.
Okay, so that's when I started my real estate.
Yeah.
In that time. Well,
during that time, yeah. So prior to that, we were still short on housing. There wasn't a lot of homes. It was still a shortage, right? And a healthy market in San Diego is 7,000 houses, right?
So do you think since there's a lot of homes now that we won't have maybe high prices now? It'll even out a little?
I mean,
not like COVID, I'm saying where it was like that.
I think what's happening though is that people who have houses listed and listing agents are kind of taking note of all the inventory that's on the market at the same time now, and how little action some of these properties are getting in terms of either showings or offers, and that in turn is causing price cuts, price reductions on these properties, and it's got the sellers and listing agents more willing to negotiate with the buyers who are starting to have the upper hand, because not only can they pick between 10 properties, but they can negotiate on every single one of them.
Yeah, I think that, when you're bringing your property to the market, we really have to go the extra step in marketing it, making sure that it's market ready, even doing inspections, fixing little things before we bring it to the market, because when there's more to choose from, then buyers can be pickier, right? I don't like the paint in that room, right? Or I don't like, so that's one thing to keep an eye out for. Also, I think we got so used to being in a market where it was list it, sell it,
move on.
A lot of offers, right? And when this is happening, when we're in this market that's changing, people get scared, right? And when people are scared, like, oh, my house has been listed for 2 weeks when we have no offers, like, what's wrong? And as a listing agent, or maybe a listing agent with less experience, the first thing is like, oh, it must be the price, right? But like, if everybody's thinking like that, then the price, we're gonna lose value of homes really quickly, right? And that might happen, right? If inventory gets to a level where nobody's buying them, then off the top, it's a natural price correction.
It's a buyer's market
across the board, exactly. But the thing is that there's not a ton of buyers out there right now. A lot of buyers were waiting for this announcement, right? They were waiting for a rate cut. They're waiting for rates to go down.
Yeah, so like we were talking about the past couple of weeks, the prime rate cut that happened yesterday has already been baked into the interest rates for the past couple of weeks?
3 weeks, 4 weeks,
right.
Yeah. And that's something we talked about right off the bat, right? Rates are down right now because they expected this, right?
Right. So, but here's the thing: a lot of people who are home shopping aren't paying attention to rates daily, like we are. So they probably didn't realize that, and when it happened yesterday, it was all over the news, and now maybe they're starting to pay a little bit more attention. Maybe there's going to be more people jumping in, not realizing that they could have had the same rate 3 weeks ago,
4 weeks ago, yeah. Exactly.
But
so
yeah, the news is maybe it's a good thing. Maybe more people get into the market.
Push them.
Yeah, and I think it's already happening, right? You said you had someone reach out to you like, hey, can I refinance, right? Right now, rates are down about 1.5 from what they were 3 months ago, right? So that 1.5 could dramatically change your affordability, your payment, how much you get approved for, right? So say if you in the beginning of the year you tried to buy a house and they approved you for 500, right now you might be able to get 600, right? So always keep checking back with your real estate agent, your realtor, or your lender, because when it's that dramatic of change, it changes the whole complexion of the loan, how much your purchase power is, right?
Yeah, you gotta find out what's going on. You gotta get pre-approved. You gotta look at the numbers. You can't just go off of a news report and wait for your whole life.
But not only that, look, someone that might have tried to buy, I know we all have examples of this, that might have tried to buy in the beginning of this year and got turned away or got discouraged by what the numbers that they saw on paper and the inventory that was out there. It's a completely different market now, right? Mm-hmm. Now you come in, your payment's lower, probably where you wanted it, $500, $600, $700 less, and there's houses to choose from at that price range, which in the beginning of the year we didn't have, right? It was still like no inventory and high prices and high rates. So we're getting back to a healthy market, a place where it's good for buyers to come in. They could have some negotiation. They could pick and choose from the house they want. And, everybody kind of happy in that sense, right? Now, again, don't rush to make a price decrease on your home. I don't think that's the answer, right? It's about getting the right person in to see your home that's willing to buy it, right? That's the listing side approach to it, right? We have a beautiful listings. Javi has the 4-bedroom in 92154. Plenty of traffic on it, right?
Yeah, it's been consistent. I mean, over the weekend you guys did the open houses. It was great.
I mean, it's a 4-bedroom, fully remodeled, pool. I mean, what else do you want?
Yeah. I mean, that house in the beginning of the year, we could have almost got 900 for it.
Yeah.
Last year for sure we could have got it. So the market has softened a little bit. I think it's more so with that house. There's plenty of traffic. I think people are like right now the wait and see how these rates affect us. Right now, maybe you start getting some applications in, and people are like, "Hey, this is the only house with a pool in 92154. Let's go get it."
Like, be ready.
Yeah, we gotta be ready. And then we have my new listing. It's a 2-bedroom townhouse in Otay Ranch. It's a nice place. Under 600,000, FHA, VA approved, and those are the kind of places that I would usually fly like hotcakes. I'm hoping that we have some good traction this weekend. It is one of the lowest price 2 bedrooms in Otay Ranch. So if you guys are looking for that, let us know. And I think, with this announcement comes more buyers to the market, and it's good that they're able to pick and choose from homes, right? I know you're new to this, Carlos. What is your take on, like?
I think it's just like a break or like a breath of fresh air for a lot of people. Kind of seems like it's like it was almost a very discouraging market at times. Like there was no good news at any point. It was just kind of rising interest rates. So me being in the industry for like the past only 6-7 months, it's been like a breath of fresh air for me, because it does kind of seem like a lot of buyers are coming out and stuff.
That's some relief, right?
Yeah.
It's a relief that everybody needed, right?
I think it's a relief for sellers too. I mean, in the sense that a lot of people weren't moving because they were locked in with their lower interest rates, and now maybe they're looking around saying, okay, well, it's 1.5% higher, but it's not as bad as it was.
Like it's manageable.
Exactly, and that could be what's causing the uptick of inventory.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
yeah.
and it could be very short lived, because there's only a certain amount of that inventory that's on the market as well. So something to keep an eye out on. But it's nice. Look, I showed 12, 13 properties on Saturday, and I haven't been out with the client and showing homes like that for 3 to 4 years. Like, it hasn't been like that. It's been like, okay, we could see 2 houses today, and we had to put offers because they're gonna be gone, right? Now you have, as a buyer's agent or as a buyer, you have the option to pick and choose and really find a place that you fall in love with, and it's not just that one house that's on the market or that one house that's in that area.
Yeah, you're not like and it's negotiable. Like, you're not forced to do anything or pay over price or like be in those situations that no one wants to be in. Because
of the length of time on the market, people are more likely to have negotiation, but that's because, like I go back to, they got so used to like getting flooded with offers and then hearing about that and like 20K, 40K over.
It kind of humbled people.
Yeah, and right now it's humbling people. Mm-hmm. And I hate to throw the word desperate out there, but when people don't have what they want in that instant gratification, then all of a sudden they become desperate, right? And when people become desperate, you get a better deal out of them, right? And that because of that is not that fast, it's creating this thing where like we're seeing these great deals happen, right? So I mean, depends on obviously the seller and the agent, but you might start getting very low offers on your listing, and that's just the market that we're in because the buyers are starting to get the upper hand, right?
It's crazy the drastic difference in markets that I've seen in just like the past months that I've been in the industry. Because in the beginning, it was like you would have to put in an offer at least a couple thousand over asking to beat out other offers. Just like we had our situation with Sally. Like, we weren't going to get any property for at asking or even slightly below. And now, like with the property that I'm in escrow with, I wouldn't have really imagined it or foreseen it going for under asking in the market that I was in.
Yeah, and it appraised for more.
Yeah.
And it would have been, if you would have went in through COVID, that is like...
You're not getting your offer looked at,
yeah,
right?
Bro, like, I came in at that time, like, I was like, what? What is this?
Like, we were protecting our clients from overpaying on houses, and they're like, I don't care, I want it, right? Like that condo.
Lines out of doors, people getting pushed out of wanting a house, and they bought a condo. Like, crazy things.
Yeah. But in retrospect, it was all for the best, because they're sitting in their houses and their condos at 2% interest rate, and now it's appreciated $300,000 since then. And
well, I think it depends on the situation, right? There's always a line up to where you want to pay or overpay, right? Mm-hmm. And the situation that Michael had, like, there was no way this place was even gonna. It didn't appraise, right? Like one of the condos that you got your cut.
Yeah.
And we're like, hey, you gotta walk from this deal. Like, it's not a good deal.
That's another thing you gotta think of. Like, the appraisal process, all that is changing now too. Is like the appraisers are going off of new pricing, and it's just that gets adjusted as well. So you gotta keep that in mind,
Yeah. And the appraisers is something that have been hard on on what we're trying to do, because you know our job as agents for the listing side is to get top dollar for our clients. And when we get hit by an appraiser that's low, like there's not much that we can do as agents, right? We did our job. Michael sold the house for $945, and the appraisal came back at $908. He did everything in his power to sell it, but the appraiser is the one that called the shots on that deal. So
I can't like I it's probably not the easiest job either, cause like you see houses that are selling for $1 million. But then you're seeing one sold for like 900, so it kind of is like
it's all over the place.
Yes, exactly.
Were you guys able to find comparable properties?
Yeah, but for VA government, they're a little bit more strict. They have specific guidelines to a T. So if it doesn't follow that, then it's just like a no-go. So it's just a little bit of different process than conventional.
Yeah, the escrow I'm going through right now is a VA buyer on the duplex, and our appraisal came in at value. So. And I told him, I was like, hey, you know, VA appraisers are typically conservative. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all appraisers across the board are going to be conservative right now.
But VA especially, right?
Yes.
And, you know, I told him it's not only is it a good thing that it came out at value, but it's a good thing that your VA appraiser is saying, hey, it's worth this because, you know, it's in a good location. It's
proof. Like it really.
It's in good shape.
Yeah.
You know, chances are you're going to make some money off of this in a short amount of time.
Yeah. And that one is a home run. Right.
I mean, I haven't seen a cleaner inspection report.
I mean, you would
between us.
It'd be better to have maybe walk into some equity, but yeah, as long as this is appraised like at value, then you're good to go. You know.
Yeah, I mean, your client's walking into equity on his
23 grand.
23. That's
23
good.
grand. Yeah.
And
in this market, when the appraisals are you know very conservative, very on point to what our offer is, what the purchase contract looks like.
I just did one. It was sold for $890 and appraised at $930. 40,000.
40,000 in equity. Right. That's the deals that we're out here getting right now for our clients, right? So if that doesn't like show you something like right now is a good opportunity, right, to buy, I don't know what does, right? Like the rates are lower. There's deals to choose from. There's inventory out there, and
credits.
And we're able to negotiate still. Right, it's a great opportunity. I have 2 buyers buying out of town. One I just closed, the other one I just got into escrow on Monday or Tuesday, and they're both buying investment properties here in San Diego. Right, smart money, you gotta follow smart money. Right, when smart people are making moves, financial moves, like that's when you should do it too. Right, both of these people are very savvy, own multiple homes, and they're putting money into San Diego right now. Right. So it just goes to show you, right? This is a good time to buy. It's a good time to take action. If you're a renter and you've been renting for a long time, or maybe if you even tried to apply for a loan in the past, you got discouraged and you got overbid. You're one of those people, right? Like now's a good time to come back. There's inventory out there. There's plenty to see. We could go see 10 houses in one day, and make your move, right? Even if you don't, right? Check your finances. And be prepared, right? Maybe some people want to wait until what happens with the election, right? And how does that affect the country, or how does that affect home prices? Personally, I don't think it will affect home prices at all. I think whoever becomes president, home prices are going to still stay strong in San Diego.
I had that exact conversation on Sunday when I went to show property. You know, that's exactly what he said. You know, I want to wait and see what happens. And it's gonna keep coming up with different people up until that happens, and then I don't know, maybe they'll realize that nothing really has changed.
Yeah, they're gonna regret it.
And the same kind of happened, I feel like, with interest rates. Like Michael said, like the actual mortgage interest rate, it went up. You said like 1 or 2 points.
Well, so there's sell off, right? The bond sell off after people are getting their money out. So when that bond sell off happens, the bonds are not being bought. That rate's gonna trickle up a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. But we're on the right trend on interest rates, right? We're going down.
That was kind of my point. Is that like there was so much of a buildup about on this day the interest rates are gonna drop, and that's when everyone's gonna come in. They're gonna flood the market, and then here we are today, and like it's still at a standstill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because the thing is,
but people that are checking, right? People that have no concept of what's going on with interest rates, and people that heard the news yesterday and they're checking today, they're like, oh man, interest rates are a lot lower than when I checked 6 months ago, right? Because a lot of people don't check that daily. They're not up. They don't follow us on Instagram. You know what I mean?
A lot of people do check them though, but but the thing is with that, it went up because that was already planned. Like everything doesn't just stop, and like you said, it doesn't just take effect right away. Like that jump was already planned, so that wasn't gonna stop.
Yeah, and it's still planned to have another 50 basis points cut by the end of the year, right? That's built into the market already, right? So come next month, they don't drop it, that could have an effect on where the interest rates go. And come December, the last meeting of the year, again, if they don't drop the interest rate again or they don't cut it again, even if it's not 0.25, whatever it is, it could have effect of which way the interest rates go. Right, that's why they say we're still gonna hover around 5 because this is already built in to the interest
I think
rate.
people are trying to win the lotto, like Javi said. You got that low interest rate back in COVID. People are trying to think that's gonna happen or something. I don't know, but like you gotta understand your situation now, not like what's gonna happen in a year or two. Like what?
Well, when you say like people are trying to win the lotto too, that's also something that's on the horizon, right? Because when's the best time to sell? Before everybody else sells, right? And we've been telling people, hey, right now is the time to sell for the last year while prices were at all-time highs. And now that everybody's selling, it's like there's a floodgate of inventory. There's more people selling because people follow.
They wanted their cake and eat it too.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, it might be just that right now is not the opportune time to sell, but if everybody decides to sell, and what happens then? Then we get a real price reduction, right? Actual off the top, the houses are worth 5-10% less. That's a possibility. But I mean, we still have a lot of inventory to grow still, and I think with the interest rates going down, that cut's happening. But we are going into the winter time, and everybody knows in the wintertime it slows down.
Well, if you think about it, maybe this is the adjustment. We were at somewhere where we shouldn't have been.
Yep. We were getting over.
Yes, so maybe that's why we're like, wait, what is this?
Yeah, this 5.
And we're not happy with this, but this is what it should be.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there's a lot of houses out there that are still overpriced, and that's where we're seeing the inventory, right? If you look
house brand, like how's that sitting there? That's crazy.
Well, I would think we have to go back to on that situation. It's more of who's waiting and seeing what's going to happen, and we could be overpriced. It still could be overpriced.
I think what was a little reassuring to me was that the house down the street that's a little bit bigger.
One less bedroom, right?
Mm-hmm. No, it's 4. It's a 4-2. Yard's a little smaller, no pool. Got no traction over the weekend, whereas ours had a ton of showings and it still has more showings. But they're priced a little bit lower. I think they're priced
$869 or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Right, $5,000 lower. So I don't know. We'll keep an eye on that one. See who flinches first, and just kind of try and stay ahead of it.
Well, it's because it's like a shock factor. It's because we're like, wow, this doesn't sell, but it's like that's just.
Yeah, I mean, it could take 3 weeks to find the right buyer for that house, right? And then that's the thing, right? Homes are sitting on the market longer, 30 days. There's not that urgency of buyers yet, which could change overnight. You said it. Beginning of the year, you couldn't get your offer accepted. You had to go over, right? Mm-hmm. We're halfway through the year, and the market has completely changed. It could change, and that's why we do our weekly market updates. Week to week, the market is constantly changing, right? 1 week we'll have inventory, the next week all of it will be gone, right? 4,000 homes is not a lot of homes if you look at it in a grander scheme of things, right? Like, we could get 4,000 buyers and 4,000 escrows, that's San Diego. It could happen really fast. The reason that number has gone up is because the buyers aren't out. They were waiting for a decision from the Fed. They're waiting for election,
Christmas is coming.
Holidays does slow down the market. I mean, we're always pretty busy in the holidays, with our charitable events and everything we do for the community. And I think that helps bring us business because we're out there working while some people on vacation. So I'm excited. I think this healthy market is good for San Diego. I think even if we have a slight price reduction across the board in prices, we're still expensive here, right? Like maybe that's what we need. We need this break. We need buyers to feel like they're winning, because sellers have been winning for a long time.
Yeah, true.
Right? And like you said, it's some relief, right? It's some relief. The first relief that you've had.
Some
since you
hope.
started
We
work.
have hope.
There's hope, man. And it's going in the right direction, right? Interest rates will continue to go down in the long term, right? For now, we're seeing about a 5%, 5.5, low fives if you're an FHA, VA, and maybe low sixes if you're conventional. The hope is right now that there's inventory out there, there's deals to be made out there, there's homes that we're getting for our clients that have equity already built in, right? And so that's what people need to take advantage of. If you're thinking about buying, reach out, make a game plan for you. You know, we'll sit down with you, go over a buyer's guide with you to take you through the whole process, connect you with the lender, like all in house. It's all here. You guys have anything to add?
Get a game plan and get pre-approved.
Right, we're busy. We have escrows going, and hopefully it continues to stay busy going into the winter. So if you want a new home for the holidays, right now's the time to start. It's always a good feeling, right? Brand new house. for
Start cooking your
Christmas.
gingerbread cookies.
Right, man. Have a new oven for your big turkey.
Yeah.
Nice big window for your Christmas tree.
Oh, backyard for celebrating with your friends and family.
Some football.
Yeah.
A pool with the inflatable flamingo.
I don't know. I like it, man, but it's cooled off a lot.
Oh yeah.
So the weather is beautiful right
I
now.
love it. Yeah.
So the market cooled off.
Nah, I think the market's picking up. I think we'll pick up.
And then it got super hot right before it started to cool down too.
I mean, it is.
yeah.
It's
It was-
I think
75
that
degrees
made it
today.
like
It
better.
was like the sear.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think all we have to add is comment, like, share this. I hope you enjoyed the podcast.